In this video I'm going to show you inside the Hero Camper Ranger, so where you sleep, where you keep your clothes, and the storage space that we have inside. Okay, so here we are inside my Hero Camper Ranger. It's a 2021 model. I'm not going to focus too much on the electronics or anything in here. We're going to cover that in a separate video. This is all just about what is inside the Hero Camper Ranger, what the living kind of space is like in here where you're sleeping. I also have the additional bed slide, so we'll take a look at that as well. I also have my tape measure, so I can help measure and give you some indication of kind of storage in the cupboards and the drawers and behind the seats and all that kind of thing. So start off by just having a look around, so you can see inside one portion here, and we have like this cocoon kind of area. So one of the reasons why I went for the Hero Camper myself, and as a family, is you have quite a lot of headspace above you. So I'm 5'10", I'm currently on my knees, but there's plenty of room up above. So if I wanted to get dressed and changed in here, it's pretty easy to do that. If we look around on the walls, you can see here on the other side of the door, we have a couple of things. So the windows now on the 2021 models open out, so we just unhook these things here and they will open up, and then you can turn the knob a little bit to fix it in place. One thing to keep in mind is obviously with those windows out, if you open up the door and you slam it into the side of the camper, it won't end nicely. So they have little message there telling you to keep the window closed when opening the door. All of the windows and the roof window have blinds for both blackout and for the flies and the midges. So you pull down from the top, that's the fly mesh, and if you pull down from the bottom, you have the blackout, and it is completely black in here when you black things out, and they've got magnets on, so they just kind of connect together, so you can have kind of 50-50 or something if you decide that's what you want. Also, you can lock the doors from inside just by turning this here. They come as standard with these little nets that you can keep magazines in, phones, Nintendo Switches, or whatever it may be. And then I've recently added these little drop down cup holders, so again, if you've got a can of Coke or a glass of wine or a beer or something in here at night, you can do that. You'll see just down here there is basically a really long seat belt that goes from one side to the other, and that's so when you're transporting things, you can basically secure things across the middle, so it's not all swaying and whizzing around and all that kind of stuff. In the top here you can see the mountings. This is for the sky rack, so the mounts that clip through here. I've also added a couple of coat hooks that we can hang coats and keys on. I got those again from IKEA. Here is the main kind of console for all the power and electronics and everything, and I've added a thermometer and a little clock there, but again we'll cover on those in a bit more detail. But the short version is you can see water levels and electric levels and control everything from here. At the back we have this kind of seating area. You can see that this is lit up behind here, so we have LED light strip behind the seats. We also have an LED light strip above the cupboards, and we also have an LED light strip underneath here in the lower area as well. So the way that the Hero Camper set up is it's permanently in kind of bed mode. You don't fold the bed away, but it has these kind of large back seating areas, so you can just sit back here, and if you're going to read a book, play games, watch TV or iPad or whatever it is you want to do, and you can do that from here. This whole stuff is really comfortable. The mattress is really comfortable as well. I'll do a little overlay. You can see it's really quite thick. Underneath is a kind of plastic like condensation barrier that just obviously helps with any condensation. There's some condensation holes in there as well. It is a slightly firm mattress. I do prefer a firm mattress, but we actually put a mattress topper on the top just to make it a little bit more comfortable, mainly for my wife prefers a slightly softer bed, but that works really well. The basic size of the bed, again we'll measure it in a moment, but it's king size, but you want non-fitted sheets because it's a little bit longer, so you want kind of non-fitted sheets that will just kind of go all the way to the end, but with your duvet covers and stuff, again just king size will be absolutely fine for that. If you have a little look behind the seats, so again both the seats pull forward, they're just on magnets, so we can just pull those forward and you can see here we have some storage. There's actually quite a lot of storage behind here in the back. In this side we just keep a couple of things. I keep the awning attachment thingy here. We've got a first aid kit down there, so we always know and get easy access to that just by putting this forwards. And then we keep some blankets and stuff in there, but there's quite a lot of room behind in the back area here. And if we look behind the other side, I've just got different storage. This is where all the electronics are and the solar and everything like that. So again, we'll cover that in a separate video and show you the little adjustments that I've made in there. If we look over the other side, I have the electric heating, which again we'll cover in a different video, but that's the controller here, electric heating. I have to be hooked up to the grid for that. I have two USB sockets just here, which again run off the 12-volt system, so they're always working even if I'm off grid, running from the battery. And then we have a European socket with the 3-pin plug adapter for UK, and again I have to be on grid for that. If we look just a little bit here underneath, again the bed goes down quite a long way. These kind of slightly protruding areas is where the heating comes from underneath. So again, if we have the heating on, hot air will blow out of here into the feet area and then up into the rest of the inside of the camper. It's really well insulated in here, so even now you can see a bit hot. It's 23.1 degrees in here and it's like 8 PM at night. It's been not a very warm day, so it is really well insulated, and they say it will keep you, it's warm and tolerable down to minus 21 degrees centigrade, and I really think that is the case. So I just measured the actual kind of sleeping areas. It's about 207 centimeters long and 151 centimeters wide. So that's all the way up to obviously where the backs are, for the seating. And again, you've got extra storage just at the back there. So again, I'm 5'10" and I fit in here super easy. And again, with that width, you could, if you wanted to, have 3 people sleep across here. I think it wouldn't necessarily be the most enjoyable experience, but you can definitely do that, which I guess will bring us on to the bed slide. So let me just move the camera around and show you what that looks like. Okay, so the bed slide is an optional extra. I think it's around 400 to 500 pounds. I can't remember. Again, if you decide to get one, it'll be on the product listing. So we've got this because, again, we have children. We are waiting on our roof tent still. So whilst that's happening, we want the ability, and also the flexibility, if the younger one wants to sleep in here and gets a bit scared in the roof tent, they can. So again, this is 151 centimeters in length or width. In length in terms of head to toe. And when you pull it out just like this, it will click into position. And it's around 53 centimeters width in terms of the sleeping area, and you got about 2 to 3 centimeters either side. There is this kind of I put an overlay, a little pull-out section that you can put in here that basically stops people rolling off. You can put your dog up there as well. There is a maximum load of 60 kilograms on there, but again, it's a great sleeping area. And even though things initially you think it looks like it's going to feel cramped, but actually when you're sat back over here, everything feels a long way away. It feels spacious. It doesn't feel claustrophobic. Again, the kids love it up there, but it just gives you that bit of extra versatility, and only taking up a small amount of room because it slides all the way away when you're not using it. So it really does work really well. And I think even if obviously the plan is that the kids are sleeping in here all the time, but it's also another area that if you wanted to and you were doing some work from here, you could have a laptop or something and put your laptop in if you're watching movies or something in the evening and work to some extent from there as well. So quite versatile. I recommend getting the bed slide if you're going to go for it anyway. So the bed slide is actually connected in. There's 2 little stoppers either side that you push down to be able to get this to come in and out, and again you just push it down and it will retract all the way back and lock into place just like that. And so again, you've still got loads of leg room and everything like that. Then we have this shelving area. You can see on here I have the Hero Camper speaker. Again, we'll cover that in a separate video, but this whole shelf area, again, I'll provide measurements in a moment. We've got some small curver boxes that we keep in here, so we can keep like tissues and other things that we can just pull in and out of here. Obviously you don't have to do that, but I prefer things to be a little bit more organized and we can just get things in and out. And then one thing I forgot to mention again about this roof window here, so the same functionality of this, we have the blackout piece and the mesh fly netting. It has a couple of options for opening, so again it's got a couple of little tabs on here, so you can then also open it all the way and then clip it up, lock it into place. And even when you have a roof tent, you can still have it in that locked open position. So again, it's important to get some good ventilation in here because it does stay so warm, and obviously you need to keep in mind about condensation and all that kind of thing. So let me just measure the well, again, the width or the length of this area is going to be the same, 151 centimeters, and then the depth, if I just grab my tape measure, which isn't a great one, and I'll put that down over here and see what the measurements are. Okay, so they're 44 centimeters deep, about 17 centimeters high, but you only have 11 or 10 to 11 centimeters gap, so you've got to keep in mind that you have a bit more storage up and around there, but you need to be careful what you're putting in. I'll put a link to the curver boxes that we use in the description, so you can check those out as well. Finally, in here we have the storage cabinets where obviously you can keep whatever it is you want. We keep our clothes in here, again in curver boxes, so they all have the little lock pieces here so they don't come flying open. Push those in and then they will lift up just like that, and then you can see inside there's a little middle piece here. If I just lift the other one up, that kind of separates the two areas. Don't know if you can just about see that up here. And again, we keep our clothes and games and stuff in larger versions of those curver boxes, so they're about 18 litres, and we just be able to pack our clothes outside of the camper, and we know they're just going to slot straight in, so it makes things a lot easier for travelling and packing and camping and stuff. So it does, obviously because it's a teardrop, it does taper down, so it starts off quite high, and again I'll get the measurements of that in just a moment, but it tapers down, so you really need to either make some bespoke boxes, which I did think about doing, or seeing as those curver boxes work just perfectly, you really can kind of maximise the space with that. Okay, so you find me inside the cupboard. So again, the sides are going to be the same, so it's still 151 centimeters wide of inside the teardrop. In terms of the depth, again, about 49 centimeters from the back to the front lip. Then at the highest point, they are, I'm going to say about 40 centimeters high at the highest point, and then at the lowest point, which is where it's a bit tricky for me to measure because this tape measure is not great, it is about 20 centimeters. So you've got to taper them from 40 centimeters down to 20 centimeters. And again, inside the cupboards and on the shelf, I've just put some anti-slip matting so things don't slide around all over the place in there, and keep things nice and tidy. So I think that covers everything inside here in the sleeping area and the kind of little living area of the Hero camper. It's deceptively big, actually. It's a bit like a TARDIS. Everyone that I've shown who has a look inside is really impressed both with the build quality and the fact that it's comfortable and an enjoyable place to be. So it's great. So again, we have got the outside awnings both to the side and in the kitchen, so if the weather's not great, you know, there are still other places to be dry. The whole reason for us to get a teardrop camper as opposed to a caravan or something like that is we want to try and encourage ourselves to be outside more. But if it is absolutely lashing it down, because we do live in the UK, all four of us can get in here, and the dog, just pop down the end there, pop the iPad on, and we can watch movies and stuff without any issues. And yeah, it works really, really well. So hope that gave you a little bit of insight to the inside of the Hero camper. Again, this is the Ranger Columbus model, so there shouldn't be too much difference in the other spec. Obviously I've got the heating and some other things, but these control panels and the blinds and stuff, I think they're all standard across the Hero camper range, whether that be the Ranger, the different specs within there, and even maybe the Traveller as well. So feel free to leave any comments, ask any questions down below. I'll do my best to answer them. Yeah, I'm going to put the bed covers back in. I put a couple of overlays so you'll see what it looks like when it's in kind of sleeping travel mode. We put everything in here when we're traveling, so awnings in bags and chairs and tables and everything like that. That's one thing I guess I will mention. That's a good thing and a bad thing about the Hero Camper is the axle obviously kind of goes across about here, so you don't actually have too much room behind the axle, because obviously that's where the kitchen area is. So if you're trying to kind of ease the nose weight, which is something I have to do as an electric vehicle owner, I can only have a 90 kilogram ball weight. In an ideal world you'd be able to push some stuff a little bit back further, but obviously you can't because the kitchen is there. So depending on how much stuff you're carrying and what load you're running, you can put some water in the water tank whilst traveling to try and offset some of that. Is a one option. So far I've been fine. I can just about manage everything and get it to 90, but yeah, it works really well. The reason I say that is just to mention it again, if you do have an electric vehicle and you're speccing things up, be careful. Obviously if you decide to go for a massive battery system, that's going to add extra weight to the nose. Yeah, and you might not want to do that. Same as putting all the awnings and stuff behind here. If you pull both these down, you can fit some awnings and stuff across here, but again I've decided to kind of minimize the weight that we have in there. So that's it. So hopefully it's helpful. Please like this video. If you haven't done already, consider subscribing to Hero Camper Owner YouTube channel. Press that notification bell icon so you get future notifications of other videos as well. Until the next one, take care of yourself, happy camping, and bye for now.